In today's video, we are discussing a Magic card that has climbed over 1,800%, and that's not all we're going to talk about in today's video. Stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss out. Market speculation is everywhere, and you need to be aware of it. And in today's, we're already past that point. This is a card spike video. What are we talking about? Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel today. We're talking about a card that's spiked up 1,800%. We don't waste time in these videos. We get right into the meat of it. All right, let's take a look at this card because, hey, it's something to talk about. So here we have Gifts Ungiven Signature Spellbook Jace Edition. Remember this card? Very pretty stuff. Now, the average price for this card right now is $19. The monthly change on this card is $19. The market price is $15. A foil is 40 bucks. And you know what? Somewhere overseas in Europe, it's 42 cents. What a crazy world we live in when you see a pricing sheet just like this. Now let's take a closer look at this card and see what we're talking about. Now, of course, this is because of the Commander unbanning of this card. This thing can now go into Commander decks, and it's going to go in a lot. So this is 1 blue and 3 other for an instant. It says search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and put the rest into your hand, then shuffle your library. Now this is very interesting because even the cards that you're drawing and not getting to keep, they're going to your graveyard, which might be what you intend all along. Not to mention there are cards that let you draw from your graveyard, put cards on the bottom of your library and draw like that. There may be a dredge deck working this out, or maybe you just made a political alliance with another Commander player to make sure you get the board wipe you need, and nobody else can stop it because you chose this player because they chose you. Isn't that a Pokemon thing? I choose you or something? Anyway, it's amazing to see this card unbanned. Now, when we jump over and look at the sales, okay, the sales are insane. They are everywhere. There's hundreds of copies of all these different versions of the card selling. But this is the one percentage-wise that has gone up the highest. Almost all the cards from the unbanning have gone up between 300 and 1,500%. But doing a card spike video on each one just seems redundant at this point. I mentioned the other cards, but this is the one. This is the version. This is the one that has the most going on right now. Now, of course, if we take a look at this, right now you can see recent decks. It says Underworld Breach, and you got Rot Priest Storm, okay, Modern Vintage. What do you think this is going to say next month when you get all kinds of Commander players in there? It's insane. Now, look at all the different versions of the card. You've got Champions of Kamigawa, Double Masters 2022, Double Masters 2022, different versions, right? Double Masters 2022, another different version. From the Vault Exile. Remember From the Vault series? What a great series that was. Modern Masters, it's 25 bucks. And Modern Masters 2017. Man, we're going back in the olden days there. Now, if you look at all these, you can see it's pretty insane to think that's where we're at. But there's all these different versions that already exist. And as this card jumped into the market and became unbanned, and word spread, not just like wildfire, I'm talking it was instantaneous, the amount of sales that started rocketing into the stratosphere. But there's a bigger thing, a side thing that we need to talk about, because a lot of you are going to wonder if these card prices are going to hold. Well, history has told us and taught us a lot about sudden spikes with unbannings of cards. They do not hold. They're not going to hold. There are too many versions out there of the same card. Maybe a particular artwork will hold better than others. Maybe a certain version, a foil etched or whatever fancy pretty thing they put on may hold a slightly higher value. But there's just so many versions out there that if you wait, this is going to fall in price. But then there's the secondary question. How many players needed the card versus how many speculators jumped into the market? Well, the cursory research that I've done so far and the amount of sales and the areas they're coming from show there is a ton of speculators that actually had quite a few of these cards. There's a lot of stores that had 20, 30, 40 copies. There's a couple of stores I know that had over 200 copies if you put all the different versions together. All gone, all out there. Now, on the online market, seeing somebody who all of a sudden puts up 40 copies, sells the 40 and puts up another 40, that kind of tells you that this person was probably hoarding some copies for a while and just kept selling them. And yep, there was quite a few people doing that as well. So with all these copies being released into the wild, how long can this card stay at this price point when you know the players who needed it have already bought it? And yes, there are still a couple hundred sales today. There's still people buying the card, but I think they're buying at the wrong time. In my opinion, this is a card that not only is not going to hold its price, it's going to be a prime reprint target now for somewhere in 2026. It's going to come around, okay? Probably in some premium product that Wizards concocts over the next little while, and they'll probably shove these cards in there. If not all of them, at least a couple of them to help add some of the value and some of the excitement of having these cards be opened in packs again. Crazy stuff going on with cards that we see, and we haven't seen this much interest in an unbanning in a long time. Okay, there are people always speculating, but the actual people who might want to build with these cards, that's a lot higher than I would have anticipated. I assumed everyone kept a couple of copies but myself, but you know what? It just turns out a lot of people didn't. Because even the stores I checked in with over the last 24 hours since the unbanning have told me they're individual people. Some people bought 4, absolutely. Other people bought 1, just a single copy, nothing else. And that tells you that's a player who wants the card. They have a deck that this can be added to. People buying 4, a play set, maybe those people have 4 or 5 commander decks they want to put some of these cards into because it's going to work well. Let's not forget, it's at instant speed, which means after something bad has happened, but before somebody else's turn comes along, you can just ramp that out and say, hey, I'm going to look for a solution to our problem. And whoever you pick as the opponent is going to be somebody hopefully you're on friendly terms with in Commander to let you get that card. Now, like I said, it was playing in Vintage, it's been playing in Modern. That's why these cards had a modicum of value. But now the Commander's on board, whoo, we are going to see some serious sales over the next couple of days still. I don't think we should. In my opinion, it should already be dropping off, but it's not. The sales are very consistent and they're quite high. So that's where it lies like this, okay? This is where we end up when we get a massive amount of unbanned cards coming back into the market. Now, the true question should be for players out there, and I'm sure there's some of you out there. By the time at this point in the video, we'll be 5 minutes in. At this point in the video, I'm sure there are a few of you out there who do this already. You look at all the cards that are on the ban list, and if some happen to go cheap, like they're just cheap, you buy a couple of copies. You hold on to them in case things become unbanned. You're never caught unawares. You never get caught not being prepared. Some of these cards do have a price tag attached to them. Others are very cheap. I mean, why not buy a couple of copies of something when you see it? If it's something you could afford and swing into a deal you're already buying, or maybe you're already going your checkout and you say, you know what, I'll just add 2 of these in. Why not? Just in case. That's how it goes sometimes, folks. And that's what I think a lot of you should be doing. And I know there's some of you who will tell me in the comment section, that's exactly what you do. Because you're ahead of the curveball. You know what's coming. You know the play to make. And there are other people who always say, I meant to, I wanted to, but I didn't. Either way, thanks again, guys. Thanks for being here today. Remember, 1,800% on this particular version. Others are almost just as high. And of course, all the other cards in the unbanning are all selling phenomenal. I'll have that information probably by Saturday. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for being here with the Moxman. And if you enjoyed today's content, like and subscribe to my channel. Help us get closer to the 30,000 subscriber mark. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Welcome back to the end of the video. This is the section we call the Ramble and the Jamble. If you're back here, if you're behind the green curtain, I welcome you, sir. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. Welcome aboard and thanks for being here at the Ramble Jamble today. Now, we all know the sales have just been insane. Insane. It's so easy to say. Makes me think of Cypress Hill. Insane in the membrane. Insane, got no brain, because these cards aren't going to hold. They can't hold. Some of them have too many versions out there. Some don't. Keep the differences, right? Cards have had lots of reprints. Those ones just can't hold the value. Those with very limited reprints, well, maybe that's a card to pay attention to because Wizards is more likely to reprint that sooner rather than later. They got a cash cow there. They've just added some new fish into the ocean, and these fish can get pretty big, especially if there's decks that want to play them. And right now, it does look that way. This doesn't look like I have so many speculators out there that had hordes of these cards. There are some. But generally speaking, the individualistic sales I saw tell me people are just buying it because they need copies. I already had a playset of 4 of the Gifts Ungiven. Sway, I have like 2. I don't have the Panoptic Mirror, which is interesting. I thought I had a couple. Nope, don't have it. So there's even cards I'm missing out on. But at the same time, I think people will learn from this to hold a few copies just in case. I know I will. Guys, have a great one.